We are going back to the future again for UConn. I want to talk about their 2024-25 class and Allie Ziebell. Now, she is the second member currently of their class. It also includes Morgan Shelley. Obviously, they're hopeful to get Sarah Strong, but to be determined. I don't know if that's taken a dent, seeing that Emily Rodriguez has just recently been offered a scholarship by UConn, which would leave them with only one position left on their 15-man roster for 2024-25 to be determined. Ziebell is in the mold of Ashlynn Shade. Like, they look very similar in terms of build and type of game. Shade was likely one of the most physically prepared players to come to UConn, as her dad was a personal trainer, and they really worked on her body to make sure she was ready for the college game. Now, Ziebell's dad's not a personal trainer, but in much the same way, she is extremely prepared to come to UConn, as her father was the high school basketball coach for over 25 years. So you can basically say she is a coach's kid's daughter. And there's a really good article where Mark Ziebell, her dad, describes how friends would often come up to him and say, "Man, she's special, your daughter. She's going to be a great player," and how he would roll his eyes as, instead of that parent that can only see good things in their kid doing on the court and doesn't understand why the coach is not playing their kid, he was the dad, or he was a dad coach who often they only see the flaws and mistakes their kids make when playing, like when they don't help out on defense or don't block out. He said this as much, saying, especially as a coach, you see the times that she doesn't box out or do the right thing sometimes on the court, he said, and you think, you're never going to make it if you can't box out. So with this, I think you start to get the understanding that despite being rated the number 5 prospect in the 2024 class, Allie Ziebell has not had a lot of smoke blown up her, telling her how great she is. Instead, it seems like she was just a basketball rat, as she was always in the gym around basketball, as her dad was the boys' basketball coach. And during the summer, he would take his kids with him to school, where he ran basketball camps from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. 4 days a week for 8 weeks, which basically meant Allie would either love basketball or hate it. And obviously the latter came true, as by the time she was in the 3rd grade, she was already playing against the boys. By age 10, her future high school coach, Andy Brunell, had taken note of her, saying, whenever you know someone's a kid of a head coach, you kind of take a little extra look. Brunell said it started to become clear around the 5th grade that she was likely to be something special, saying, I think it really became clear, like, holy cow, this could be special, was 5th grade. Now, Ziebell herself says she got serious or really focused on basketball in around the 7th grade, and then by high school, she already had 8 D1 scholarship offers. Now, Brunell set the team up with a 10,000 shot summertime challenge to get that many shots up. But of course, Ziebell, she got up 100K shots.
A lot of programs do something like a 10,000 shot club, something like that. That wasn't enough for her. She did 100,000 shots, multiple summers in a row. So that's Allie. So she's always put the time in. She's always been a very talented player. Probably the first time she really caught my eye was she was in 5th grade. I'm watching her at the 5th grade state tournament and just saying, wow, this kid is something.
I love going to the gym. I go every day. And then I was not always known as a shooter, so I shot 1,000 shots every day just throughout quarantine. And I just love going to the gym. That's what I do.
Her dad has set her up with a shot routine, saying it involves doing X number of shots on certain moves, and it's just a routine she now sticks with, as she finds it helps keep her settled and focused. Not surprisingly as well, she was organized when it came to being recruited, as she was given the advice to set up a notebook to keep track of her conversations and what different schools were offering. So she kept a notebook, but then it quickly became overwhelmed due to the interest in her, and she had to develop a spreadsheet that was obviously color-coded to mark when she would have meetings and phone calls with various coaches. Interestingly, though, the one school that she wanted to receive interest from, that she'd always grew up loving, UConn, as she had a UConn birthday cake one year, as well as getting a UConn jumper for Christmas. Well, they did not show any interest. Despite her coach sending off a highlight reel to UConn and saying, this is someone you might have interest in having on your team. But then this situation changed after her Wisconsin EYBL team played in the Louisville Run for the Roses Classic and upset Cy-Fair from Texas, a team that had Justice Carlton on it. And she showed out in the finals with 30 points, showing off her deadly jump shot, plus getting to the basket and playing through contact and finishing. Now, she put on this performance with Gino and Mulkey in the stands, and what do you know? Her dad gets a call from Gino, but the phone dropped out, so Gino went to the source and gave Ziebell a call, which involved him offering her a scholarship. She said that she'd have to think about it, but 3 months later, after taking a school visit, she committed to UConn. After committing to UConn at the end of 2022, she then followed that up in 2023 by being one of 2 high schoolers to make the Team USA Under-19 squad that went to Spain and won the gold medal. This was especially sweet for Ziebell as she'd gotten cut the previous year trying to make the Team USA team. And she said that she went away really focused on trying to make sure that she was ready for her next trial and really trying to show all the things that she is good at, which is really shooting and passing the ball and just being an all-around good player. She is now focused on taking her high school team, Nina, to the state championship and winning it. She's taken a more active role and trying to be more talkative and more of a leader on the team. Her coach says that she's taken a step back in scoring to make sure everybody's involved and is almost the perfect superstar that you would want on your team. Now, there you go. There are all the glowing recommendations, and essentially any recruit going to UConn usually has those. It's not too much different from Ashlynn Shade or KK Arnold, who also happened to be a Wisconsin player like Ziebell. I used in my last clip on Gandy a clip from Gino saying, you know, this player will be the best player of all time at UConn, and he sort of chuckled. Well, that was him talking about Chelly and Ziebell, and that's the case. You know, every recruit coming to UConn, they usually have these accolades, and you think that they will be the best ever, and she definitely has the resume for it. The one interesting thing I find with this is where she is going to fit in, because it is going to be a hell of a battle between her and Ashlynn Shade for playing time. Shade has gotten a head start this season and has gotten an opportunity with Fudd's injury, obviously extra minutes, and it appears at this stage that she is taking full advantage. And looking at UConn's roster at 24-25, there is going to be potentially there's a hell of a logjam at the guard spot. If Beckers and Mule return, in addition to Fudd being healthy as well, you'd still have KK and Shade there as well, potentially Aubrey Griffin, in addition to Cadence Samuel. So that to go along with Morgan Chelly and Allie Ziebell, that will be a very, very crowded backcourt. One thing is very clear, UConn seems very focused on getting elite shooters and seems to value that very much, and they've got another one in Allie Ziebell to go along with Chelly and with Shade and with Samuels. But will they have the firepower in the front court to match what they are developing in the back court? Check out this next video and see if they've potentially got the next Hakeem Olajuwon of women's basketball, or if it's Tito Horford. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Your poison, your comments are always welcome. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content.